Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's the name of the Father and His Son. Double honors to the apostles and elders, better known as Great Millstone, who rule well. Shalom and salutations as well to you sincere brothers who push this word in truth and in sincerity. So last night I was, you couldn't, some nights you can't sleep. And I was watching a video Apostle Tahar had done dealing with the image of the beast. And, breaking down and, showing that it's the system, and how it's modeled after Rome in particular. And, it's something that's always been taught and stated, and brothers always go into it. However, I just wanted to find it, see if I could find something a little more recent or just kind of to the point to help anyone out that, wonders why or may have questions. And one thing you got to realize is that America is Rome all over again. And this article is going to help show a lot of the similarities. It's a pretty good article. It is kind of old, but that makes it even better. So here it is. Probe for answers. Roman America comparing to the ancient Roman Empire. This is from May 5th, 2009. And it starts off with Kirby Anderson looks at the comparisons between modern America and ancient Rome, i.e. the Roman Empire. Do Americans have a worldwide... Do Americans have a world view more like ancient Romans than the biblical world view spelled out in the Bible? In some ways, yes, and in other ways, not so much. Okay, so right off the bat, look, these people know America is Rome all over again, which is Babylon all over again, which is what Rome was, a model of Babylon too. But America is better known as the virgin daughter of Babylon. Okay, so let's go into some of these similarities. Salaki for the sound. Hopefully it's not too bad. Trying to get somewhere with a little less traffic. Says the philosopher George Santayana once said, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." To which I might add that those who remember Santayana's maxim also seem condemned to repeat the phrase. Ask anyone if they see similarities between Rome and America, and they are likely to respond with a resounding yes. Okay? But I have also found that people who see similarities between Rome and America see different similarities. Some see similarities in our moral decay. Others see similarities in pride, which that's a big key indicator. Okay, the pride, arrogance, and hubris. But all seem to agree that we are repeating the mistakes of the past and need to change our ways. So, America is modeled right after Rome, and let's just get to it. Okay, similarity number 1, dominant powers. It says Rome and America are the most powerful actors in the world by many orders of magnitude. Their power includes both military might and the soft power of language, culture, commerce, technology, and ideas. Approximately equal in size, Rome and America are comparable in physical size. The Roman Empire and its Mediterranean lake would fit inside the 3 million square miles of the lower 48 states, though without a lot to spare. So, just stopping really quick, the military is a big key to showing you how America is Rome all over again, and this image of the beast Okay, the beast is with the 7 heads and the 10 hordes, talking about the EU. Okay, brothers, most brothers are familiar with that. If you're not, just look it up real quick, and you'll get the list of the 10, the 10, what are they called? Countries that started it up. You know, you'll see the Germania Major, Minor, Luxembourg, Britain, so on and so forth, and you'll see the ones that have changed. Originally, it was 10 in the EU, and now it's gotten bigger. Okay. Military might, commerce, culture. Culture is a pretty broad thing to say, but the article will kind of get into a little bit as well. Technology, that's a big thing. Apostle Har, when he did that video, he went into the technology, showing you how America is greater, than any of its predecessors, anything that came before it. So watch that video if you haven't. Number 3, global influence. Again, with the technology, it says both Rome and America created global structures, administrative, economic, military, culture, that the rest of the world and their own citizens came to take for granted, as gravity and photosynthesis are taken for granted. Okay, so he's saying as the natural things are taken for granted, they're trying to say that the world's taking that basic things for granted, right? But America and Rome are the huge global influence, but they are that way because of their military. They won the world over by the edge of the sword, which was the blessing given to Cain, who was reincarnated as Edom or Esau. Okay, the so-called white man. Similarity number 4, open society. Both are societies made up of many peoples, open to newcomers, willing to absorb the genes and lifestyles and gods of everyone else, and to grant citizenship to incoming tribes from all corners of the earth. So there's another scripture, I believe it's in I believe it's in Habakkuk. He heapeth unto himself all peoples. And look, Rome did it. America's doing it. Okay, so its whole system, its whole structure is this image of the beast. Okay, culturally similar. Romans and Americans can't get enough of laws and lawyers and lawsuits. There goes that pride and that arrogance again. Okay, they relish the ritual humiliation of public figures. Hey, what better place to be a prophet, huh? Americans, through comedy, there you go, see, everything's a joke. That's why the scriptures say he will mock when your fear cometh as a desolation, as a whirlwind. Woe to you that basically smile now and you're gonna cry later. So they laugh at us as we're in tears, and they eat as we're starving. We're bums, this and that. So comedy and satire, talk radio and court TV, that Judge Judy. It's no different. The Romans were on that shit too. The Romans, through vicious satire to be sure, but also during the Republic, by means of the censorial nota, the public airing, name by name, of everything great men of the time should be ashamed of. So they were calling people out on their bullshit. Just like now, you turn on the talk radio show, and it doesn't matter who you're listening to. They're all talking about what, oh, Hillary this, Trump that, Obama this, Bush that, Clinton this, right? Just, publicly shaming, right? Things that, they should be ashamed of themselves for this and that, right? So that's kind of a thing. This one, I like this one. This is number 6. It says, chosen people. So I can let this truck go by. It says, chosen people both see themselves as chosen people, and both see their national character as exceptional. Isn't that funny? Okay, while there are many similarities, there are also profound differences between Rome and America. Before we look at the six major parallels, well, we're going to look at that now. Okay, they're trying to say these differences, which are not real differences. Um, Technological advancement, says Rome, and all of its long history never left the Iron Age. Showing you this is the last great empire. America's left its industrial age and is now in the technological, or what they call here the biotech age. Abundance. Wealthy as it was, Rome lived close to the edge. Many regions were one dry spell away from famine. So at the time, in 2009, when this is written, okay, America was able to deny it easily. But now you see, many regions in America are literally one dry spell away from famine. Here's a good one: slavery. Rome was always a slave-holding polity, with the profound moral and social retardation that this implies. America started out as a slave-holding polity and decisively cast slavery aside. Bullshit. That's why you're still paying taxes. Okay, Baruch tells you, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, subject to payments. Okay, the scriptures don't lie, and the reality is in your face. Government. Rome emerged out of a city-state and took centuries to let go of a city-state's method of governance. America, from early on, began to administer itself as a continental power. So with the Continental Congress, the first president, they say, is John Hanson, is a so-called black man. Okay, he was running it. But America is no more that continental power. Okay, colonial. Okay, it is exactly after Rome. It's got senators, a senate, social classes. Rome has no middle class, as we understand the term, whereas for America, the middle class is the core social fact. Wrong again. The social class has been done away. The middle class has been done away with and destroyed. Okay, so like I said, it's an older article, but it's beautiful because it's showing you how these people really thought America was different, how they really believed they weren't the devil. Entrepreneurship. Romans looked down upon entrepreneurship, which Americans hold in high esteem. Now, I don't know too much about that, but I kind of doubt that to be true, just because entrepreneurship is handcrafted goods. You know, handcrafted goods is what you wanted. They didn't have machines and robots back then. You know, slave trading was entrepreneurship. That was big. Okay, you had you joined the military in hopes to survive and get money, wages, and land, and to become an entrepreneur. You start your own business of farming. Okay, technological development. For all its engineering skills, Rome generated few original ideas in science and technology. That's that's kind of hard to say. I mean, a lot of stuff they took from the past, just like now. There's no new thing under the sun. You know, they're really trying to set a separation between Rome and America here, but it's not looking too good. It says America is a hothouse of innovation and creativity. Well, I mean, Rome was too. Look at their siege weaponry, the way they were able to construct bridges and aqueducts, and a lot of them are still standing, or the foundations of them are still there. Okay, in America, they can't repeat those techniques. That technological development, social equality. On basic matters such as gender roles and equality of all people, Romans and Americans would behold one another with disbelief and distaste. It's the same thing in America. Okay, gender roles of all people. Roman had a social class too. They won't mention it. You'll find a few books here or there that'll talk about different classes. A lot of people bring out these points about the wearing of a ring, showing that you're a property, and you weren't given the same rights. The whole point of the Colosseum was to make people feel unified at the Colosseum, because you could be sitting next to, some business owner, and here you were, a slave on a day off, basically, you know, or even being able to work at the Colosseum and to rub elbows with people, and you know. Anyway, so those were supposed to be the differences. Not a lot of actually similar incidences. Now, these are some of the parallels. I know this video is going on long, and a lot of people have better things to do with their time. So I'll try to get to the point. Most people are probably reading ahead anyway. It says the first parallel is perspective. It actually involves the way Americans see America, and more to the point, the way the tiny elite subset of Americans who live in the nation's capital see America and see Washington itself. Basically saying, like the Romans, Americans tend to see themselves as more important than they are. They tend to have an exaggerated sense of their own presence in the world and its ability to act alone. That's really true. Okay. Second parallel, military. Both Rome and America start to run short of people to sustain their militaries and begin to find recruits through outside sources. This is not a good long-run solution. But anytime America's entered into a war, it's lost great numbers of its own people. Edomites, they get taken out quick. They got a new show on Discovery Channel called Taking Fire. I want to watch it. I'm waiting for it to come out. I haven't, I looked for it yesterday. I think it's got a couple days or weeks left till it comes out. It might come out today. But it's about soldiers in the field of Iraq, Baghdad, or no, I'm sorry. I think it's Iraq or Iran, in the mountains. And they're doing like recon missions. And they'll go out there with the medic and a backup medic. And the preview, they show the medic get shot through the throat to exit wound out of his back. And they're trying to patch him up. So just kind of showing you that it's military, right? And now what America's doing is, they'll let you, if you're from another country that's like Puerto Rico, that's known, or Guam or the Philippines, right? You join the military, get some citizenship, and you can live in the States, legally, as they say. Third parallel can be lumped under the term privatization. Rome had trouble maintaining a distinction between public and private responsibilities. America is currently in the midst of privatizing functions that used to be a public task. Okay. Let's see. A fourth parallel concerns the way Rome and America view the outside world. In a sense, this is merely the flip side of the first parallel. If you believe your country is exceptional, you tend to devalue others. Okay, and more importantly, you tend to underestimate another nation's capabilities. Rome learned this in AD 9 when 3 legions were ambushed by a smaller German force and annihilated. The repercussions were significant. Sending those small troops out there into the mountains of these other countries, and they're getting picked off and destroyed. Even though they have the ability to call in an airstrike. They show you in that movie We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. They were calling in airstrikes, but they weren't effective until they knew exactly where the enemy was, and a lot of times they had to call the airstrikes in right on top of themselves, no less than 5 yards away from themselves. So pure and total confusion. The question of borders is a fifth parallel. The boundary of Rome was less of a fence and more a threshold, not so much a firm line fortified with keep out signs as a permeable zone of continual interaction. Compare that description to our border with Mexico, and so can see many similarities. A final parallel has to do with size and complexity. The Roman Empire got too big physically and too complex to manage effectively. The larger a country or civilization, the more it touches and the more susceptible it is to forces beyond its control. To use a phrase by Murphy, bureaucracy is the new geography. So it's a pretty good article. You know, you can continue to read on from this site. It's easy to find. You know, just type it in. It's from theprobe.org. And the article is Roman America Comparing to the Ancient Roman Empire, May 25th, 2009. So hopefully, you know, brothers were edified. You know, hopefully any one of the elect can use information, or, you know, like I said, hopefully we're edified and fed. With that, I'm going to wrap it up and say shalom.